Yes, good morning everyone. In earlier class, we started the revision in earlier class also. Today, Komal Parsandia is also there. It's good to see you. So we have discussed about the best Christmas present in the world. Okay, and the ant and the cricket, the tsunami, geography lesson, glimpses of the past, Makevity, the mystery cat, all these lessons are coming there in literature reader. And in it so happened how the camel got his hump, then children at work, and the self is giant.
Giant.
Okay, and then Mitesh Singh joined the class. Then regarding we have discussed this your notice message that you have to prepare. Okay, and regarding the grammar, the word forms, editing, omission, rearrange, all that. Yes, Subham, you want to ask something?
No, sir.
Yes, ask.
No, sir. I don't want to say anything.
Okay. Amrit Kaur also joined. Amrit Kaur, good. So the best Christmas present already we have discussed in the earlier class. Then we discussed tsunami. Okay, and the ant and the cricket geography lesson we discussed. Now in today's class we will discuss glimpses of the past. Glimpses of the past also we discussed in the earlier class. That
Yes, sir.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
glimpses of the past. I provided you introduction that the lesson is providing a glimpse, a partial view of the history of our country. Okay, from 1757 to 1857, and Britishers came in our country in the form of traders. They came here in the form of a trading company. Okay, but slowly and gradually they started interfering there in the political matters of our country. Okay, and the Indian kings, they also started taking their help, because the Britishers, their army was quite, their weapons were quite superior than Indians. So Indian kings also started taking their help against each other. Whenever an Indian king was having problem with other king, then they used to take help of the Britishers. So likewise, Britishers got an opportunity to interfere there in the Indian political matters, and slowly and gradually it provides a glimpse of how the British, yeah, Tejas, correct. You can unmute yourself and speak. Okay, no need to write. It provides a glimpse of how the British East India Company expanded its power in India and exploited Indians, how they robbed their landlords and farmers of their land, created situation that led to famine and pushed patriots to launch widespread massacre. Okay, so yeah, this is correct. So this is how the Indian kings, they also asked them to help against each other, and the East India Company got an opportunity to interfere there in the internal matters of our country. Then slowly and gradually, they established themselves strongly as a political power. And then for Britishers, key motive was their own benefit. Okay, so they made favorable trade policies. Okay, there was not that much taxation on their goods when they were sold in our country, but they imposed heavy taxation on Indian goods. So due to this, what happened? Indian homemade goods, they were available at a high rate, and British goods, machine made goods, they were available at a cheap rate. So of course the customer will buy all those things which were available at a cheap rate. And as the British goods were available at a cheap rate, British goods, factory goods, they got more customers and better market as compared to Indian handmade goods. So British trade policies, they ruined Indian industries. They ruined Indian small scale and cottage industries. Okay. Then regarding this Indian soldiers as compared to Indian soldiers and the British soldiers, the salary of the British soldiers was good. Promotion opportunities for the British soldiers were better. Okay. And they took some steps against the religious sentiments of Indian soldiers. At that time, it was considered that as per the religious beliefs, Indians should not cross the sea, but they asked them to cross the sea. Then the cartridges given to them, they were coated with the flesh that of a cow and pig. So likewise, these some steps were taken which were against the sentiments, religious sentiments that of the soldiers. So Indian soldiers also became against them. Then Indian farmers, you know that Indian agriculture is a gamble of monsoon. Indian agriculture entirely depends upon monsoon, and failure of rain means there remains no agriculture. If there is a failure of the rain, means there is no good product, good produce. But Britishers, they imposed a heavy taxation. They used to collect heavy taxes from the farmers. So due to that, the farmers also were against the Britishers. So all the sections of the Indian society were dissatisfied with the Britishers. Then Indian kings, those who are not having their natural heir, those who are not having their natural son or daughter, their kingdoms were annexed by the Britishers under the doctrine of lapse. If any Indian king was not having a natural heir, their kingdom was taken by the Britishers. Their kingdom was annexed by the Britishers. So likewise, Indian kings were also not happy with the Britishers. Indian soldiers were also not happy with the Britishers. Indian farmers were also not happy. Indian industrialists were not happy. So every section of the Indian society was dissatisfied with them, and they raised their voice against the Britishers. Okay, so likewise, the revolt of 1857 was started. First of all, it was started by a group of soldiers from army unit there at Meerut. Okay, and it was joined later on by the other sections of the society, other kings and freedom fighters. So the Queen of Jhansi, Tatya Tope, Nana Sahib, Kunwar Singh, Begum Hazrat Mahal, all this played a key role there in the revolt of 1857. So all the questions related to the lesson you should be able to answer. That why the farmers were not happy with the Britishers. The farmers were not happy because a heavy taxation was imposed on Indian agriculture. The farmers were asked to pay heavy taxation. Okay, and their produce was not that much, their income was not that much. Okay, so they were not happy, they were badly tortured at the hands of the Britishers. Okay, likewise, what were the causes of dissatisfaction among the Indian soldiers? Are you able to tell what were the causes of dissatisfaction among Indian soldiers? Yes, students, who will tell? Yeah, unmute yourself and tell what were the causes of dissatisfaction among the Indian soldiers. Who will tell?
Sir,
yes, Subham. Yes, Subham, you tell.
Sir, the Indian soldiers get slow promotion as compared to the British officers.
Yeah, their promotion was slow as compared to the Britishers. Their salary was not equal to Britishers, and some steps were taken by the Britishers against their religious faiths. Okay, so bad treatment was done towards them. So all these. So you should be able to answer all these things. Then do you think the Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach? Yes, Indian princes were short-sighted in their approach, because in their internal matters, in their internal. Okay, no problem, Kusali. So in their internal matters, they invited the Britishers, and this gave Britishers an opportunity to interfere there in the internal matters of Indian politics. Then, how did the East India Company subdue the Indian princes? The East India Company subdued the Indian princes by following a policy of divide and rule. They helped one king against the other, and by this they divided them. On the other hand, there these weapons and all these, they were also quite of superior quality. So the East India Company subdued the Indian princes by their policy of divide and rule. They started with the excuse of trading. First of all, they came to their kingdoms for trading, but gradually started subduing the Indian princes by helping them against each other. So this you will be able to do. Then quote the words used by Raja Ram Mohan Roy. Raja Ram Mohan Roy said that every religion teacher teaches the same principles. The principles of every religion are just same. As cows are of different colors, but the color of their milk is same, that is white. In the same manner, there are different religions, but the teaching of these different religions are just the same. Then in what ways did the British officers exploited Indians? So we have discussed about that of the farmers. On farmers, they imposed heavy taxation even when there was no produce from their farming. Then also they used to collect taxes from them. Then Indian industries were made to compete with the British machine-made goods. On machine-made goods of Britain, that taxation was not that much, so Indian goods failed to compete with them. Then regarding the soldiers, so you can write regarding industrialists, regarding farmers, regarding soldiers, regarding kings, what problems all these sections of Indian society faced, that all you can write. Then okay, so all these children, all this is there. I hope you have understood. Then how was Tipu Sultan of Mysore different from the rest of the Indian princes? A reference of that is there. Most of the Indian princes welcomed the Britishers and took their help to fight against each other. But Tipu Sultan, however, was smart enough to understand the real motive of the Britishers and fought against them till his death. Then what were the ideas preached by the Indian religious leaders? What Indian religious leaders taught the Indian society? That Indian people, they should first of all educate them. Indian people should get education. Then after getting education, they will understand the drawbacks of their society, and they should eliminate all the ill traditions like dowry, child marriage, parda system, okay, all these crimes against women, all. Then Raja Ram Mohan Roy went against one of the beliefs spread by the religious leaders, which was that he crossed the ocean to go England, and he said that crossing the sea is not against our religious feelings. So children, likewise, you have to understand, you have to learn all the questions. Okay, so have you understood this lesson?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Then children, next it is regarding Makeviti, the mystery cat. As the name suggests, this poem is about a cat. The name of the cat is Makeviti. Makeviti is a mystery cat. It is having superpowers. It can defy the law of gravitation. It can defy the law of levitation. It can float there in the air. And it was a great surprise even for a fakir who used to have some great powers. It was a great source of bafflement It was a great source of puzzle. For whom? For the Scotland Yard. Okay, why? Because whenever the crime spot was discovered, McAvity was not found anywhere. McAvity's eyes are deep set in. McAvity's eyes are sunken in, and McAvity's coat is dusty. Okay, and its hairs are uncombed, its whiskers are uncombed. Actually, McAvity is a devil in the form of a feline, in the form of a cat. It's a devil, it's a monster. Okay, so all these children you have to remember about McAvity. McAvity, he is called the hidden foe, for he is the master criminal who can defy the law. McAvity is a master criminal, and McAvity is able to defy any law. So will you be able to do questions related to McAvity?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
Then how the camel got his hump? Okay, how the camel got his hump? So let me discuss that. The camel got his hump. Let me take out that lesson. The story, how many animals are there? How the camel got his hump? Four. One is
A donkey and buffalo and dog and camel.
one by one. Yes, Karisma Megwal, you tell one by one. Yes,
Dog.
children. One camel is there, then
Sir, ox.
Camel, dog, horse,
dog, camel, dog, then
horse,
ox, and then camel, dog, and a ox. So in this story, compare the man to a camel. The laziness of the camel causes him to have a hump. The camel got a hump due to his laziness. Whenever anyone used to ask him for a work, the camel only used to say one thing, and that was hump.
Hump.
Okay, so one day the Jinn came there to the desert, and first 3 days when the world was made, no work was done by the camel. All the animals, these animals, they went to the camel and asked him to do his share of work, but the camel said only one thing, hump. So all the animals, they have to do extra work for the camel. So they went to their master, the Jinn, in charge of the desert. They complained that the camel is not doing any work. They said that there is an animal in the middle of the desert and it is not doing any work. And then the Jinn compelled the camel to do his work, and a hump was created at its back, due to which the camel could do work without food, water for at least 3 to 4 days. Okay, so what task do you think were assigned to the dog and the ox? The questions. The dog was assigned the task of bringing things to the man that he needed and of carrying things from one place to another in his mouth. So the small things were carried by the dog to the man. The ox had a yoke around his neck, which means he was assigned the task of plowing the field. An ox is big and strong, so the man gave him a job which required strength. So you have to remember what were the tasks given to the ox and the dog. Then why did camel live in the middle of the desert? The camel lived in the middle of the howling desert because he wanted to avoid work. Because he wanted to avoid work. Unlike the dog, the horse, and the ox, the camel can walk on sand with ease. So he placed himself in the middle of the sandy desert so that no one could reach him and he can escape any kind of work. That's why he used to live there in the middle of the desert. And as the work was not done by the camel, ox, horse, and dog were compelled to do that work. Then what made the dog, the horse, and the ox very angry? Yeah, who will tell what made the dog, the horse, and the ox very angry?
Because the camel didn't do any kind of work, and the horse, dog, and ox have to do all of the work.
Yes. So as no work was done by the camel, these three were asked to do the work done by the camel. That's why they became very angry. Then how did the jinn know the horse was complaining against the camel? The jinn was in charge of the entire desert. So he knew all the animals where they lived. So on the basis of the description provided by the horse, he came to know about the camel. Jinn was the in charge of the desert. He was knowing everything about the desert. So when a description of an animal living there in the middle of the desert was provided by the horse, the jinn understood that he was telling about whom? He was telling about the camel. Then the camel was looking at his own reflection in the pool. What does it suggest? It suggests that the camel likes.
Camel thinks that he is the most beautiful animal on the planet.
That he was very much beautiful.
The statement suggests that the camel loved its own image in the pool. He considered himself handsome looking.
Yeah, it suggests that
the camel love his own image. He considered as himself very charming.
Okay, Chinmay. So it suggests that the camel loved his own image, and that's why he used to look there at his own reflection. He used to consider himself very beautiful and handsome. The camel said hump. The camel said hump repeatedly. How did it affect him? At the later stage,
the word hump and the genie, he turned hump into the hump on the camel's back.
Yeah. So the camel said hump repeatedly. How did it affect him? The camel said hump repeatedly. Due to it, he had a hump there at its back. The camel said hump and never worked. This made the animal unhappy because the camel's share of work fell on them. They complained to the jinn, who in turn tried to talk to the camel and tell him to work. In return, all the three animals, they went to the jinn. They complained against the camel. The jinn on their complaint went in the middle of the desert. He asked the camel to do some work, but the camel said hump. This annoyed the jinn, and he made a hump there at the back of the camel. Okay, so this is all about the story, children. The story is like this. You will be able to do. Then,
yes, sir.
Then children at work. Children at work. Children at work. Let me provide you a description. This story is about children who belong to poor families. It is a story about children who belong to poor families. These families have to make their children work, or some children run away from home in order to find occupation or to avoid the condition at home. These children, they have to do a lot of work. Some of the children, they used to run away from their houses due to bad treatment by their parents. It tells the story of Velu, a runaway village child. Velu ran away from his house. Why? Because his father used to beat him. His father used to drink a lot. He used to beat him, and whatever the money Velu used to get from his work, all that money was also snatched by his father, and the father used to beat the, you know. So he ran away from his house in order to escape himself from tortures of his father. The story is accompanied by the facts and arguments that connect complex issues. Okay, so you have understood that this is about the rag pickers. Now, what is the reason that children, they became rag pickers? Some because they remain very poor, that's why they used to do rag picking as Jaya. Some, their families, members, they used to create problems for them, they used to torture them. So as it happened in case of Velu. So Velu ran away, he raced to Chennai, he ran away there in a train. He was not having money for paying the ticket. So he managed to escape the attention that of the ticket collector. Then he reached at the Chennai railway station. There he found Jaya. Jaya took him along with her, okay, and she provided him food. The food that was of leftovers. Initially, Velu was not ready to eat that food, but when he realized that if he will not eat that food, he will suffer from hunger, that's why he ate. He also understood that his only companion in the city is Jaya, and he has to eat whatever Jaya is providing. There is no further choice. Okay. Then he started doing the work. Jaya asked him what work you can do. He said that I can do agricultural work, but in the city there were no agricultural fields and no such kind of work. So Jaya asked him to do the work of rag picker until he is not going to get a good job. Okay, so this story is like that. So Velu stood on the platform, but he felt as if he was still on a moving train. Why? Velu made a long train journey to Chennai without a seat. The train shakes when it moves. Okay, it vibrates. Okay. So due to long journey, when he stood there on the platform of Chennai, he was still feeling that he felt wobbly. Is it clear to you? So will you be able to write the answer? Due to a tiresome journey, because he performed a long journey, a tiresome journey, and due to that he felt wobbly. And this was his first journey. Okay, so he was not habitual of such kind of journey. So when he stood there on the platform, still he was feeling wobbly. Wobbly means unsteady. Okay, as the train while moving it shakes. Okay, so like that he felt. Then what made him feel miserable? After getting down on the station, Velu was exposed to the crowd and loud noises from everywhere, which was unusual for a person from a village. He was also extremely hungry. All this made him miserable. What made him miserable? That he was not familiar with the atmosphere that of a big city. There was very much crowd, there were very much noises, and he was not knowing to anyone. Neither he was having money to purchase something for him. Okay, so all this made him miserable. Neither he was knowing that where he should go. Okay, so all this made to feel him miserable. Have you understood, children?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then,
Yes, sir.
then Velu traveled without a ticket. Why? Velu traveled without a
Velu
ticket.
traveled without a ticket because he has no money and he was run from his home afraid of his
Yeah.
father.
Because he had no money. Okay. Then how did he escape the ticket collector's attention? He sat in the unreserved compartment near the door where the ticket collector did not come to check. He sat there in an unreserved compartment near the door where the ticket collector did not come. So he escaped the attention of the ticket collector. Then why had Velu run away from home? Velu had run away from home because he could not stand his father beating him anymore. His father would snatch all the money and he used to beat him and his sister. His father used to drink and then his father used to beat them. Now he could not tolerate any more this beating, so he ran away from his home. Why had Velu run away? This we have discussed. Then why did he decide to follow the strange girl? Why he decided to follow Jaya? Because
Velu,
yes, Jia Patil.
Velu was completely new in the city. He did not know where to go and what to do. But the center girl seemed to know everything about the city. She could help him to get food. Therefore, Velu decided to follow her.
Yes, because he was new in the city, he was not knowing anyone. Okay, so his only hope was Jaya. That's why he followed Jaya. Then can Velu read Tamil and English? How do you know? So Velu Velu can read Tamil, but cannot read English. On the road while walking with the girl, Velu saw many boards and advertisements and he could not read them because they were in English, but he could read the board in Tamil on a big building which read Central Jail. He was able to read Central Jail, but he was not able to read other things. Okay, so likewise, children, only 10 minutes are left. Let me complete it. So regarding this lesson, have you understood or not?
Yes, sir.
Understood.
Okay, then the selfish giant. Okay, so selfish giant, what is the story? Let me tell you the story. Once upon a time, there lived a giant. There was a giant. He had a beautiful garden. Giant had a beautiful garden. It had soft green grass and 12 peach trees. School children used to visit it to play there in the evening when they came from school. The children used to play there. Okay, the giant had got out to see his friend Carnis Ogre. He stayed at his house for 7 years. Then after this, he returned to his own castle. To his surprise, he found the children playing in his garden. He became very angry. He put a board there on his garden that trespassers are not allowed. Those who are coming without permission, they are not allowed. He said, my garden is my own and I only deserve the right to play there in my garden. No one else is allowed to play. But children, when the children were not permitted to play in the garden lost all its beauty. And when it was supposed to have flowers, it was still having the winter season. Everywhere ice was there. Okay, and the season of flowers was not visited in the garden. Okay, the garden, the giant became very unhappy. He used to think that what had happened to my garden. One day what happened, he found some children playing there in one corner of his garden, and there he found that flowers were there. Okay, and there was no ice in that particular corner of the garden. So once the giant lay in his bed awake, he, okay, and so the giant understood that as long as the children will play there in his garden, he will have all the flowers, and his garden will be having all the amenities as the other gardens of the city are having. Okay, so likewise the story is, children. Now why is the giant called a selfish giant? Because he did not permit the children to play there in his garden. He said that my garden is my own and this is for me only. Then on one occasion the children said, how happy we are here. Later they said, how happy we were there. What are they referring to? The first sentence was uttered by the children when they were in the giant's beautiful garden. When they were there in the giant's garden, the giant had gone to his friend's place. So the children played freely there in giant's garden. So at that time, the children were very happy. Okay. The second sentence is uttered by them when they are trying to play in the dust and stone. Okay, they are not there in the giant's garden. Okay. So at that time they used to say that how happy we were there. Is it clear to you? So you remember, yes, learn it well. Then when spring came, it was still winter. When still came there, spring came there in the entire town. Still in the giant's garden it was winter. Why? Because giant has not permitted the children to play there in his garden. Is it clear to you, children?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so likewise you do it well. Okay, then regarding writing section, already we have discussed what will come there in writing section. Message
Letter
and
writing, notice writing.
message and notice writing. Okay.
Message also.
Haji, prepare them well, prepare all the lessons. Let me give you practice for some of the grammar questions also. I had finished my course when my friends arrived. When my friends arrived. Okay, so I had finished my course when my friends arrived. Okay, so this is which tense? This is past perfect. So how to identify past perfect? In past perfect, two things, two past actions are taking place. One is a had plus third form of the verb. So I had finished my course when my friends arrived. Okay, this is a simple past and this is that of the earlier past. So what that remains, that of the earlier past, that is past perfect. That is past perfect. So how you can understand it, that in past perfect two past actions are taking place. One that of the earlier past and one that of recent past. I had finished my course when my friends arrived. So if here it is arrived, then here it will come had plus third form. You have to identify that which of the two is taking place earlier. The work which is taking place earlier will be of a past perfect. So likewise, remember all. Okay, then let me give you I wait for my parcel since yesterday. since yesterday. So which tense is this? What will come here? I wait. Okay, something related to wait you have to, for my parcel since yesterday. So as since is there, yesterday. Yesterday means it is about, it is indicating past.
Past
Okay.
tense.
And here since is there, since. So where since and for remains. So that is,
Perfect continuous tense.
Haji. What will come? So it will become, I had been waiting for my parcel since yesterday. Okay. So likewise, children, you just go through all. Okay, all the sun, the sun set in the west. What will come? The sun set in the west. The sun, this is of which tense? What will come here?
Sets.
This is universal truth. Universal truth. So where universal truth will remain there, then there will, what tense will come? Simple.
Present continuous.
The sun sets there in the west. Okay. So here the class comes to an end, children. You go through all the verb forms. Simple present, you read the rules. Present continuous, present perfect continuous, present perfect continuous, past perfect continuous, since and for. You can identify with the help of since and for. Okay. Past tense, yesterday, last week, last day. Likewise, you can identify. Simple present, if it is a universal fact, if it is a habitual fact, likewise you can identify. Okay. Then past perfect, how you can identify past perfect? If two actions of the past are given, and if one is taking place earlier and one is taking place later, so with the help of that you can identify. Okay. Present perfect, that is a recently completed action. So just, any reference of just is coming, that this has been completed just. Okay. Present continuous and past continuous, they represent ongoing action. Present continuous, an ongoing task in present, and past continuous, an ongoing task in the past. Okay, children. So I wish you all the best. Hope you will learn well and score good marks. Is it clear to you?
Okay,
The
sir.
class comes to an end here.